Great. It's bloody Christmas Eve, and you blokes call me into work, do ya? Fine, whatever. My name is... Actually, you cannot... I know. I can't say my name. All of this should be classified information, but no, only my name is classified. Anyway, today I'm covering more Mech Armor incidents that I had to deal with. The first of these incidents actually happened a few days ago. We got a report that some guy in a red Mech Armor was fighting some guy in a green Mech Armor at some Christmas parade. At first, it seemed like a simple Mech Armor brawl. However, the story leading up to it was pretty bloody weird. The guy in the red neck was named Howard Langston. He was a mattress salesman and a negligent father who, one winter's night, accidentally missed his son's karate training. I can relate, kid, I can relate. Anyway, after this, he attempted to bribe his kid's forgiveness, promising to buy him an action figure of the world's most famous superhero, Turbo Man. The kid agreed to this deal, and Howard set off the next morning to buy the toy. Unfortunately, it was sold out. When I say this toy was popular, I mean it. It made Tickle Me Elmo look like me in high school. Any ordinary man would give up, or go online, or do anything else, but Howard was no ordinary man. This guy was crazy. He went all over Chicago, looking through every toy store available. After this didn't work, he went a step further. He broke several laws, got into several fights, and got into a bitter rivalry with a random postman who happened to be looking for the same toy. Eventually, the two made their way to a Christmas parade, where they immediately stole two of the Mech Armors the performers were using, which, side note, why in the world did a Christmas parade have genuine Mech Armors? The Turbo Man mech had a fully functional jetpack and wrist-mounted boomerangs. Wrist-mounted boomerangs for a Christmas parade! Anyway, we soon came and arrested them both. Shame about the kid, though, having his father in prison for Christmas. Anyway. The next Mech Armor incident actually happened that same day and regards a former agent who, for the sake of classification, will simply be known as Agent JTT. Agent JTT had always been fairly frustrating to his peers. He would constantly disobey rules and cared far more about his self-image than actually serving the public. Think Tom Cruise from Top Gun, except more annoying and less charismatic. All of this came to a head the day of the Christmas parade. My fleet was sent out to apprehend the two mech suits, and Agent JTT was unfortunately included. However, as soon as he saw the cameras, he immediately stopped working and started showboating for the crowd. During all this, the fight continued in the background, and one of our agents fell in the line of duty. We eventually managed to capture the assailants, but many of the agents greatly resented Agent JTT, blaming him for the death of their friend. And everyone knew no punishment would take place, as Agent JTT's father was the biggest financial supporter of our department. So, a few of the agents decided to take justice into their own hands. One night, during the faculty Christmas party, the agents drugged Agent JTT, put him inside his Mech Armor, welded it closed, spray-painted the suit to look like North Claw, and left him for dead in the middle of the desert on the other side of the country. Okay, I will admit, I didn't like the guy either, but this seems a bit excessive. And what was the point of spray-painting his Mech Armor to look like North Claw? That part in particular seems a bit unnecessary. Anyway, filled with rage and a barely functioning Mech Armor, he swore revenge. With deception, violence, and a candy cane wrist-mounted blade, he managed to make his way back to Chicago, where he launched a full attack against the MECS. Fortunately, we managed to defeat him, and he has been held in solitary confinement ever since. Okay, this next incident happened about a decade ago, but we believe the main culprit is at large once again, and I have been asked to review the original case. However, this case has a lot of speculation, and many different accounts have been told and recorded, so figuring out what actually happened is going to be tricky. The incident happened in Russia, or Germany, or Austria. This is already confusing. Anyway, a rich mech armor mechanic named Drosselmeyer was visiting his goddaughter, or it might have been his niece, named Marie, or Marcia, or Clara. I'm just gonna say Clara for now. Anyway, while he was visiting, Clara was captured by a master criminal named Rat King, a man in a mouse-like mech armor, an armor he had gotten from Drosselmeyer, who had built in an easily exploitable weakness in the armor that had led to Rat King's recent defeat. Rat King's plan was to hold Clara hostage until Drosselmeyer agreed to fix his mech armor, but Drosselmeyer, having expected this to happen, had a backup plan. On top of building mech armors, Drosselmeyer also made robots, one of which he built to be his personal bodyguard, and for some reason it looked like a nutcracker. The nutcracker robot quickly flew in and began to fight off Rat King, and eventually defeated him. Rat King did manage to escape, however, and recent rumors state he may have an encore performance. The last incident we are covering today honestly makes me depressed, seeing two fellow agents lose their minds in the line of duty. But first, we need to discuss the one responsible for driving them to the state of madness, the new Shovel Slayer, also known as Kevin McAllister. Kevin McAllister started his criminal career at a young age. Two career burglars broke into his family's home, only for little Kevin to violently murder them with homemade death traps that would rival Jigsaw. This attracted the attention of his neighborhood's local serial killer, the South Bend Shovel Slayer, who took Kevin on as an apprentice. Ever since then, he has continued his stream of violent crimes. A few years ago, somehow we got called onto his case. I greatly questioned why, as he technically never actually used a mech armor, but I guess if you were to look up the definition of a mech armor and squint and look at some of his gadgets, it might qualify for our jurisdiction anyway. So he sent out Agent Harry Lime and Agent Marv Merchants. Why don't they get their names classified? Anyway, they were sent out to try to capture the new Shovel Slayer, but failed. Kevin released a series of death traps, completely mutilating Harry and Marv. Miraculously, they both survived, but though their bodies recovered, their minds never did. Harry and Marv became obsessed with taking down Kevin, going to desperate measures for revenge, even becoming criminals themselves. The two spent the rest of their lives attempting to hunt down the killer in a mad rage, but never could. Anyway, Merry Christmas.